welcome back to my 39th YouTube video on my YouTube channel. Yay! I am Hawkinsimmer, and today we are doing something different. We are doing just the exterior of a home because if I made it one long video, interior and exterior, it was going to be 30 minutes. So this video is going up on a Monday, and in a couple of days on Thursday, I will upload the interior of this home. The interior and the exterior just turned out so well. I didn't really want to cut tons and tons of it out. I still cut out bathrooms and some of the landscaping because there was so much of it. But all in all, I just wanted there to be, I wanted all of it to be in a video, and it was going to be 30 minutes, and I didn't want to do that to you, so I didn't. But this is so random, but it kind of was inspired by the lady in the Tramp house, not Lady's house, but the one next door that I think belongs to like the old coon dog, Rusty, maybe, Trusty. I don't know. You can fact check me on that. But this is kind of inspired by that. The color scheme is a little different, but the overall shape and design is kind of inspired by that house. So there is some interior stuff happening in this video just because I needed to get the floor plan right so that I could continue on to the exterior. So there is a little bit of overlap. I just tried to separate it as best as I could, but this is what we got. I struggled here a little bit trying to make the staircase have a small opening, a teeny tiny small opening. I don't understand why this is still an issue. This game is so old at this point, and the roofing is ridiculous. I do not understand why you can't have an open area staircase more easily than you can. Of course you can. Of course it can be done, but there's a lot of finagling that goes on to make that happen, and I just feel like there should be an easier way. But alas, there isn't. But we managed. We got through. I had to take a pause and watch some YouTube videos. Here's the thing. If you've wondered how something is done, someone else has already wondered and figured it out and made a YouTube video on it. So, when in doubt, just Google exactly what you're trying to do, and someone will have already uploaded. You know what I mean? But anyway, so as you can see, this house just kind of kept growing. When you have a square floor plan like this, it can be kind of challenging to, figure out what you want to do with it. So it just kept growing. And I guess I should also say, while visually speaking, this is inspired by that house from Lady and the Tramp, story-wise, obviously not at all. My thought process in this is that two grandparents, gosh, I love doing builds with grandparents and their grandkids. I don't know what that says about me, but whatever. But I just had this idea that, I don't know, these kids' parents died or they're just not in the picture anymore. So they took in their two grandkids, which is why they have this such amazing home. Because when I was making the grandparents, I was like, oh, maybe she does crafts and stuff, and maybe he gardens. And it was I had this idea that maybe he gardens and she crafts. And then I was like, this is turning into House Hunters, where they're yes, I dye candles, and my husband is, I don't know, he makes snowballs out of cat litter. I don't know. And then their budget's $1 billion. It kind of turned into that. If you don't watch that show, then you won't get it. But if you do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just had this idea that they were older than just a general adult or young adult. So that way, values of dollars, and they've accumulated their wealth and blah, 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 blah. So they have this amazing house. I don't know. You can make up whatever story works for you, girl. It is none of my business. But I just wanted a big, beautiful house, the big, beautiful backyard. And these homes are just stately looking in general. So I don't know. I thought it deserved a nice big backyard. So yeah, that's kind of what this first part of the build is. Just backyard and outdoor. I did do landscaping, and I decorated, there's a big wraparound porch and a wraparound deck. So, you don't want those to be entirely bare. So there's lots of little sitting areas and, like tables that they could have breakfast on, overlooking their neighborhood. This is a cute little area. So yeah, it's fitting. I am constantly trying to find lots in The Sims with good lighting. So I'll probably always end up building on the same 4 or 5 lots because there are lots of lots with bad lighting. And this one I got so confused. It's over by the goth house. So I was trying to figure out which lot kind of in that quadrant had the best lighting. And I thought I had figured it out and placed the house, and then immediately realized wrong. I chose the wrong lot. So I had to do it again, but it's fine. We got there in the end. It was touch and go, but we made it. But here we are kind of doing the pool area. I wanted a really decked out pool area with its own fence just because, safety purposes, I guess. My idea is that they've had their grandkids with them for quite a while, maybe since they were little, and needed a lot of supervision around the pool. So the pool is fenced in entirely from the rest of the backyard. And then I was just pulling out some random garden stuff that is in the clutter section, just because I loved the look of Romantic Garden Stuff Pack, but I actually never end up using any of those things. I feel like there's such a particular setting for those, and I never use them. I did end up using the kind of half gazebo things in the corners of the fencing. I don't know. It's just a little added detail. I don't think it serves much purpose at all, but I tried. And here I am kind of trying to fiddle with platforms again. As you can see, I'm still not great at it. Trying to figure it out at this point. Trying to make a cool little step down into fire pit. I thought that would be kind of neat. Just a little detail there. But I don't know. I have used them since this video and very successfully. You'll see that build, I think, next week. So look out for that. I use platforms and it's super cute and totally makes sense, and I did it well. So that counts for something that I haven't done in this video yet. But yeah. And you can see there's a little bit of glitchy grass. I tried to fix that. I moved it around. It has to do with exactly the spot in the yard that I put it in, I guess. I have a feeling that the platforms are going to be glitchy for a while, and I don't know. We just got to roll with it, basically. But here I am kind of cluttering up the deck area. I thought that, this is a big, they have nice parties and, people come and sit and very romantic kind of, porch area. I don't know. And then, like I said, I kind of thought that the grandfather was into gardening and cooking. So I gave him tons of planters, tons of room to grow lots of good food. And then you'll see in Thursday's video, I make a cute little crafting room for Grandma. And I don't know, maybe that's my own grandparents. Maybe I had my own grandparents in mind. My grandmother crafts, or she did for a really long time. Her eyesight's a little bad now, and it makes it kind of difficult, but that's something I super associate with my grandmother. And they always have had a pretty large vegetable garden. So maybe this is me channeling my own real life grandparents in this video. But here I am kind of doing the deck. I know it's pretty quickly, and I cut out a lot of it, but if you do Control F, you can get these quarter tiles, and you can use them to make a seam in your flooring. And I think that works really well with the decks, because realistically, there probably would be a seam for the beams to run as long as they can. So that's a really simple thing that you can do to add a little bit of detail to your builds. As you can see, I kind of jumped around a lot. When you're making a big backyard like this, there's a lot of details that go into it. So you kind of find things along the way to put into the backyard or into certain spots. I did do a lot of the landscaping. I think most of it is still in the video. And this one's pretty simple. I left a lot. Okay, a lot is bold. I left more open space than I usually would. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos, the landscaping is usually very dense, so I tried to cut back a little bit and leave the soil showing some, because in real life, like, your landscaping, first of all, would never survive this compacted into a small space. It would never survive. Everything would die because the soil would be so like overrun and there wouldn't be enough nutrients for all of it. But in The Sims, that doesn't matter. And even this landscaping is so dense and is unrealistic, but it's less dense than what I usually do. And no doubt about it, I use the rocking chairs from Tiny Living. I also tend to use that bench, which I think is from Cats and Dogs, that black wooden bench, all the time. I think that looks so cute. I think it's so simple. It's kind of faux farmhouse-y, which I don't particularly love as a whole, but some small pieces from that style can be super like old country chic kind of. But yeah, I'm just kind of landscaping. I use these bushes a lot. I think they're a good like filler kind of thing. They take up a lot of space with very minimal effort. So yeah. And then I added these like side stairs over here, and when those bushes don't fit in a smaller area, I just use the singular round bush and size it down and then kind of make it look like a hedgerow. And then I got a little crazy over here. I love doing outdoor kitchens. One of my tiny builds has an outdoor kitchen area that is so cool and like huge and totally like, I don't know, it's a tiny house, so I had to make space of the outside, so it's way over the top basically. But I just thought, like, this grandpa who does all of this outdoor, gardening, I bet he really, enjoys the fruits of his labor, literally and figuratively. And I just think that he probably grills up all the time, and they have outdoor dinners and like really value family time. So I don't know, I just thought like a little outdoor kitchen area would be really cute. I ended up just using a half wall to kind of make a backboard because the porch itself wasn't tall enough for the cabinets to be sitting flush against like the bricks of the porch. So I just used a half wall to make like a backsplash basically. I don't think it looks that crazy. I don't know. I think it looks all right, but that's just me. If you don't like it, you can take it out, girl. That's all about you, honey. But yeah, I used a lot of terrain paint in this. I thought that the like kind of pea gravel and grass would look good underneath the garden area. And then I used those like stepping stones and used the smaller tools to kind of like define the individual stones so that it looked a little bit more realistic, I guess. But we are kind of coming to the end here. Like I said, the second part of this will be out on Thursday, and I'll do all the interior of this house and do full screenshots of the interior as well. So please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I upload every Monday and Thursday. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! God, I really hope that people watch Thursday's video of this because my last two-parter video did not do well.